think the first thing to say is that no one imagined that this would go on for 3 years. What we have now is over 10 million people in the region in need. We have 2.5 million, possibly as much as 3.5 million Syrians having fled their country looking for refuge in neighbouring countries. We have a further 6.5 million Syrians displaced within Syria, and these numbers are just extraordinary. Syria had previously been a very stable country, and people had had a relatively high standard of living. Just the other day I was talking to somebody who said he'd been talking to his sister, who had said previously they had always laughed and said nobody in Syria will ever die of hunger, and now she's wondering how it is that she's going to manage to continue to feed her children. Initially we were providing basic cash assistance to families in the north, in Mafraq. As the need grew, we have gone on and opened family wellbeing centres in Amman, Zaka, Irbid and Mafraq. And we see up to 200 Syrians every day coming to each of those centres seeking support and assistance. So one of the things that CARE has done through our family wellbeing centres is we have an information provision service. And this helps people to understand what their rights and responsibilities are living in Jordan, but also what they can access and who they can access it from. So, for example, encouraging families to go and register with UNHCR so that they have legal protection in the country. CARE also gives out cash assistance. We have an emergency cash fund which helps families to mitigate financial shocks, to allow them to get over those unforeseen events that happen to everybody. In addition to that, we also have family wellbeing centres, psychosocial activities. We bring fathers together and help them to think about how to be better parents. We bring children together and provide them with safe spaces to be able to play and be creative. We have counselling sessions and counselling groups for mothers so that they can talk about their experiences and how to perhaps improve their lives whilst they're here in Jordan. I think one of the first things that has really changed is not just for the refugees but also perhaps for us as people responding, is that none of us imagined that this would still be going on 3 years later. The governments, the UN, the NGOs who were responding, and of course the host communities and the Syrians themselves thought this was going to be for a relatively short period of time. When people were first coming, we would hear them saying, "Oh yes, I'll be going back home soon. I don't need to register my children in school. We'll be going back to Syria soon." And that has obviously dwindled as the situation in Syria has got worse and worse, and people have come to understand that they're not going to be going home anytime soon. And even if they were able to go home, what they would be going home to is a country in ruins. Over the last three years, one of the things that I have been most amazed about has been the incredible commitment of our CARE frontline staff. As I said, we're seeing up to 200 people a day coming to our centres seeking support. And for those field staff who have to on a daily basis interact with people and in many cases explain to them that actually we are not going to be able to give them cash assistance or not be able to give them something tangible to take home with them, our staff have somehow managed through all of that to remain happy, smiling, to maintain their humanitarianism, to maintain their empathy. And one of the things that helps me on a daily basis to motivate myself is to see those people and their commitment. But even more than the commitment of our staff is the incredible commitment of our volunteers. In each of our centres, all of our activities are supported by Syrian and Jordanian volunteers, but it's really those Syrian young people who are here themselves as refugees, having just been displaced, who come to work every day to help and support through volunteering their own communities. And when we talk to them, they will say, "This is the thing that is helping me most to deal with my displacement and to deal with the depression of being away from my country, is that I know that I am helping my own people." And they are a real inspiration to us every day. I think in a situation when you have this level of displacement, both displacement internally in Syria and that over 10 million people in need, as we said, and over 6.5 million people displaced within Syria. But then additionally, we're looking at, by the end of this year, an official number of registered refugees reaching 4 million, which means it is extremely likely that the unofficial number is much higher and could be up to 6 million. This is a displacement of epic proportions, and it is not well funded. CARE's own appeal is about 20 to 25% funded at the moment. What we are seeing is a situation where we are really able to only respond to the absolute needs of the community, the emergency needs of the community, maintaining people's dignity, maintaining people's ability to manage on the day-to-day. Just the other day I was in a focus group with a group of fathers who were all saying, no, we don't want to be asking for assistance. We don't want to be coming begging to different organisations to help us. We would like to be helping ourselves. We would like to be supporting our own families. But it is extremely difficult for host governments like Jordan or Lebanon to open an environment where Syrians would, for example, be able to work. They have their own domestic challenges. And so Syrians are going to need our ongoing support in order to be able to maintain any type of dignity or family well-being.